Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back once again to our technical English lesson. This is our first of two lessons on sensors. We have two objectives in this lesson. The first one is to write a definition of a sensor after discussing different pictures. And the second one is to identify three types of sensors used in crash test dummies after reading an article about crash test dummies. Let's take a look at some words that we will be using in this lesson. Sensor. A sensor is used for discovering the presence of light, heat, movement, or other objects. Security beam is a system designed to detect intrusion into a building or other areas such as a school or home. Thermostat is an instrument used for keeping a room or a machine at a particular temperature. And the next one is crash test. Is a form of destructive testing usually performed in order to ensure safe design standards. And acceleration is the rate at which the speed of an object increases. Deflection. Deflection is the action of making something change its direction. These words will become clearer as the lesson progresses. Now open your course books to page 70. Which of the following is not a sensor? Why not? We have a microphone, a thermostat, a flashlight, and a security beam. Which of them is not a sensor? Why not? A flashlight is not a sensor. Why? Because the others are devices that detect change in the environment and convert it to data. While a flashlight produces beams of light, it does not detect them. For example, microphone detects sound. A thermostat detects changes in heat. And the security beam detects changes in light. Now, what other sensors can you think of? Take a few seconds and think of other sensors. They're all around you. Okay. I'm sure you know this. Smoke detector. You have one in your class, definitely. And the metal detector, which detects the presence of metal. There are many other sensors you can think of. Good. Now that you have seen different sensors, can you write a definition of a sensor? Now, your task is to write a definition of a sensor. Use these or other words. You can use these words: sensor, device, detect, change, the noun, environment, convert, and data. You can use this or other words. Now, you can start your definition with: a sensor is. Now ask yourself, sensor, is it a tool, a vehicle, or a device? Once you've answered this question, then another question is, what does it do? Now, you know what it is and you know what it does. Now use the relative clause to complete your definition. Pause the video and give it a try. Good. You can have, for example, something like this. A sensor is a device that can detect change in the environment and convert it to data. I hope you have something close to this. So let's move on to our next objective. Look at this picture. What is happening here? What are the engineers trying to measure? What kind of sensors are used? Now, look at our driver here. Is it a human being? Okay, good. Now, have you figured out what's happening? Don't worry if you haven't figured out. In the next slide, you're going to watch a short video that will give you an idea. Great. Back to our questions. What do you think? What's happening here? Yes. Engineers are conducting a crash test. What are the engineers trying to measure? They're trying to measure the effect of a front impact car crash and a side impact car crash on dummies. What kind of sensors are used? Motion sensors, acceleration sensors, and load sensors. Well, you will understand more about this last question here after reading the article about crash test dummies. But don't forget about our driver. Our driver is called crash test dummy. Now, let's go on to read an article about crash test dummies. Now, this is the task. Read this article and complete the statement below using these words: acceleration, load, and motion, and these are the statements. Number one, you see in each one you have a gap you need to fill out with these words. So let's see, read them together. 3 types of sensors are used in crash test dummies. Number one, with sensor, this one measures deflection, that is inward movement of a body part during a crash. The second one is a sensor that measures how much a body part increases or decreases speed during a crash. And number 3 is a sensor that measures the force or pressure on different body parts during a crash. Now, quickly guess the answers before reading. Good. Now, pause the video and read the text and answer the question. This should be easy. Good. Let's check our answers. So the first one, motion sensors measure deflection. Number 2, acceleration sensors measure how much a body part increases or decreases speed during a crash. And the last one, load sensors measure the force or pressure on different body parts during a crash. Now to sum up, we were able to write a definition of a sensor. We have also identified 3 types of sensors used in crash test dummies. Thank you for watching. Hope you will be with me in our next class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.